The audience was waiting for the show when suddenly, the presenter ran out. She yelled, "Something's wrong, everyone run away." Seeing that all the people behind the curtain were frantically running away, the audience thought it was a program effect. They laughed out loud. At this point, the host completely broke down and she decided to run first.
A terrifying and unexplained attack occurred in Shiyu Town, Moyu County, Nanhai Province. The town's residents suffered heavy casualties, and most of the buildings were destroyed. Back in 1983, a shocking monster attack was reported in a remote oil town in northwest China. Rumors even suggested that after an unknown attack, 200,000 people mysteriously vanished overnight. The classified government agency, Bureau 749, was forced to intervene and investigate. If you've watched Chronicles of the Ghostly Tribe directed by Lu Chuan, you might recall scenes of mysterious creatures attacking an oil town. These scenes were allegedly based on the real events of 1983. Today, if you search online for what happened in that oil town in 1983, you can easily find explanations. The unknown attack left the town in ruins, and it wasn't until the release of Chronicles of the Ghostly Tribe in 2015 that people began to take notice of this eerie incident. In the movie, the protagonist, Hu Baiyi, and his team ventured deep into Kunlun Mountain to uncover the secrets of the 9-story tower. As they pass through an abandoned oil town, they are ambushed by a group of giant, unknown creatures. Many viewers assume this was purely a fictional setting designed for cinematic effect. However, there are whispers that the attack on the oil town in the movie was based on real-life events. What really happened in the abandoned oil town? Today, let's dive into the mystery of this once thriving town that became ruins overnight. The oil town depicted in Chronicles of the Ghostly Tribe was originally called Boro Town. It is located in Akasai Kazakh Autonomous County, Jiuquan, Gansu Province. If you visit today, all you'll find are ruins and scattered movie props. However, the remains of large hospitals, schools, and banks hint at the town's former glory. In the movie, the attack takes place in 1985, but historical records state that the oil town was actually struck by an unknown force in 1983. Director Lu Chuan once mentioned in an interview that after graduating from a military academy, he worked for Bureau 749, a secretive government agency rumored to monitor paranormal events and supernatural phenomena across China. This has led to speculation. Could the scenes in his movie be inspired by his own real-life experiences? The town's rise and fall. The origins of the town date back to 1958. Before that, it was just an uninhabited desert wasteland. On September 13, 1958, during a geological survey, drillers unexpectedly discovered an enormous underground oil reserve. The crude oil gushed for 3 days and nights, with a daily output exceeding 800 tons. This marked the birth of Lenghu oil field, which later became one of China's 4 major oil fields. At the time, petroleum was a scarce and highly valuable resource. Thousands of oil workers, along with their families, migrated to this remote area to contribute to the country's industrial growth. At its peak, the town had a population of over 100,000 and was so lively that people referred to it as the Little Hong Kong of the Northwest. But here's the question. If this town was so prosperous, why did it suddenly become a ghost town? Even after the oil ran out, wouldn't it have remained inhabited? What really happened? Could the mysterious creature attack in the movie have actually occurred in real life? The night of the attack. According to the film's plot, on a fateful night in 1985, the oil town was assaulted by an unknown entity. Survivors recalled a terrifying night of horror. By morning, the once thriving town was reduced to ruins. Soon after, mysterious agents from Bureau 749 arrived. Their investigation revealed that the town had been attacked by a large, unidentified creature. However, real-world accounts point to a similar event happening in 1983. On an autumn evening that year, the setting sun cast an eerie glow over the town. An oil refinery worker, Mr. Zhang, finished his shift and walked home, passing by an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts. Suddenly, he heard strange noises. Low growls mixed with heavy breathing. A chill ran down his spine. Something wasn't right. Driven by curiosity, he cautiously approached the warehouse and peeked inside. What he saw made his blood run cold. In the dim light, a massive shadow lurked in the corner. The creature was enormous, the size of a full-grown elephant, with rough, black, scale-covered skin. Its triangular head had 2 glowing, blood-red eyes that burned with a feral hunger. Its mouth was filled with long, curved fangs, each the size of a dagger, dripping with a viscous, sticky substance. Zhang's legs went weak. He turned and ran, screaming, "A monster! There's a monster!" His cries shattered the silence of the town. Residents peeked out from their homes, confused and alarmed. Then the creature burst from the warehouse. It moved with terrifying speed, a black blur streaking down the street. A young mother and her child stood in the doorway of their home, unaware of the danger. Before she could react, the beast lunged, sinking its fangs into the child's arm. The child's screams pierced the night. The mother desperately tried to pull her child away, but the creature swiped her aside with a massive claw, sending her crashing into the ground. The town's security force rushed to the scene, firing their rifles, but the bullets bounced harmlessly off the monster's armored scales. Enraged, the creature charged at them, swiping its claws and knocking officers to the ground. The security chief, Li Ming, shouted, "Aim for its eyes!" The soldiers adjusted their aim and fired. A few bullets struck the monster's left eye. It let out a deafening roar and thrashed wildly, rampaging through the town. Buildings crumbled, cars flipped, and people ran in terror. The refinery workers grabbed whatever tools they could, shovels, wrenches, trying to slow the beast down. Then in a desperate act of heroism, an old refinery worker named Chen drove a truck loaded with explosives toward the creature. At the last second, he jumped out. Boom! The explosion engulfed the monster in flames. When the smoke cleared, the beast lay motionless, its bloodied body sprawled across the street. The town, however, was devastated. The survivors, though shaken, banded together to rebuild, but the memory of that night would haunt them forever. The next day, the remaining residents were evacuated. Over time, the once thriving town became nothing but an empty ruin, battered by wind and sand. But was this story real? Today, it's nearly impossible for ordinary people to verify the truth. Officially, the town is referred to only by the code 404. Some internet users claim to have found vague descriptions of the event online. One person even claimed to be the descendant of a survivor. According to them, archaeologists and researchers had visited them over the years, asking questions about the incident. They also possessed an old journal written by their grandfather, detailing the attack. Strangely, the last few pages had been torn out. However, after the release of Chronicles of the Ghostly Tribe, experts dismissed the monster attack as a fabrication. Scientists provided a more logical explanation. The town was abandoned due to its high altitude, harsh climate, and dwindling resources. Water samples also revealed excessive radiation levels, making it uninhabitable. But if that's true, why was the town later turned into a tourist attraction? If radiation levels were dangerous, why was it used as a filming location for the movie? And what about director Lu Chuan's claim that he once worked for Bureau 749? Could this event have been something the Bureau investigated and covered up? As we wrap up, let me ask you, if the monster attack in the film was based on real events, would it change the way you see the world? That's it for today's story. Thanks for watching. Leave your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe to Viral City.